All good things must come to an end. Elon Musk's time in the federal government comes to an end after slashing almost $200 billion in government waste. Musk posting on X, the Doge mission will only strengthen over time as it becomes a way of life throughout the government. Elon now returns to his office to try to get his businesses back on track. So, Kevin, as a Tesla shareholder, we can talk about Doge, but I'm curious about your thoughts if you agree with statements that I'm reading, like music to the ears of Tesla shareholders with Musk now laser focused on Tesla. AI and autonomous opportunity is $1 trillion alone opportunity for Tesla. So as a shareholder, and we can talk about you as a citizen later, how do you feel about Tesla returning?
I've never thought that Elon Musk focused entirely on Tesla, even when it was the business that most people focused him with. He also had other mandates, SpaceX, he's Starlink is another one. He's an extraordinary individual that can actually, hold 3-4 mandates at once. The Doge thing for him really wasn't about the 130 days. It was his first foray into Washington, which is a nasty place. I've spent a couple of years there now. It's nasty. And if you don't understand that going in, you need really tough skin. It's not a logical place in the sense that he's used to seeing the logic of saving money. But I would argue on a bipartisan basis that Doge has found its way into the hearts and minds of everybody as a good idea. And if it gets embedded into the policy of government going forward, that's great. Because I think the government should be audited that way in every administration. $200 billion was nowhere near the trillion he hoped for, but I think it's the beginning of something interesting, and I would like to see it built into every administration, as every taxpayer would. Who doesn't like this idea? It's not partisan. But I'm glad that he's back focused on business. I bought Tesla stock. I didn't want to buy it, but my son got an internship there, and he said, "Dad, you're an idiot. This is a data company. It's not a car company."
Correct.
He was right. And it was one of the most successful investments ever. I had to keep selling it down to a 5% weighting. I have a cost base of 0. That was years ago. But it's volatile as hell, that stock. It's all over the place.
Jackie, he's alluding to something that Elon Musk sort of hinted at in his own words, that Washington is a tough place where, you go in with these big dreams and these big ideas, and you're faced with the Titanic that does not turn.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how you're thinking.
I have a little bit of a soft spot for him and a soft heart. I kind of feel bad about the situation and how it all went down. I think he went in with the best of intentions. And I think he did a great job at Doge, to your point, Kevin. There's still room to go, but he's introduced something and put a spotlight on something that people have been saying for ages, but nobody could do anything about. I think he was shocked at the reception that he received for becoming friends with Donald Trump, for coming to the Oval Office and bringing his kids and trying to innovate in a way that we haven't ever before. And I think he was attacked for it. And that's why I think you saw Tesla dealerships up in flames, basically, and cars being vandalized with swastikas. And Washington is a nasty place. I don't think he was anticipating any of that. And that's only what we know about. You don't know what how he was threatened or how his family could have potentially been threatened privately. So he said in that most recent interview, I want to say a week or two ago, that his sort of political spend is going to stop. I think that's his dollars, but it's also his political capital and his sort of emotional investment in it, because I do really think he cared about what he was trying to do with the president, but I think he thought, wow, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore.
Brian, there is a way that I think he can still win under this administration. Some analysts say that, as I quoted before, AI and autonomous driving could be $1 trillion alone opportunity for Tesla. You have all of these key initiatives like robo-taxis getting fast-tracked as the federal regulatory spider web will unravel under Trump that he encountered under Biden. You have him saying by early June he wants 10 to 20 Model Y robo-taxis now on the streets of Austin. So trying to get some of that AI push out there.
Well, and I know you guys will ride in those taxis because you love non-having drivers.
These are awesome.
I was thinking about this story, and we reported yesterday on his latest SpaceX rocket launch, right? Yeah. And there was the third one that blew up in a row. And I don't think what he did with Doge was a rocket blowing up, but I think what he's doing with Doge is the same thing he does with those rockets, which is he always says, I built the rocket and flew it so I could learn something, right? He just got the most comprehensive insider's view of Washington, D.C., the bureaucracy, the legislative branch, the executive branch, you name it. He just got the most insider's view anyone's ever got. And it cost him a couple $100 million, right?
Billion. If you're thinking about market cap of Tesla,
Okay, fine, market cap. I'm just talking about direct costs. Okay?
More than $2 billion, more.
I do. Okay, yeah, but I think he's going to recover some of that. Here's what I think. I think he learned a lesson on. I don't think he's given up on politics. I don't think he's giving up on our civilization. I don't think he's giving up on the issues he cares about. I don't think he's giving up on his businesses. I think he's going to take everything he's learned and he's going to go back and he's going to figure out how to be a better business person in America, but also how to be more influential in politics in America and where the real opportunities are. I think he's going to reload is what I'm saying. This is not the end of Elon Musk. He's not retreating.
I agree
He's not,
with you.
I am John Galting and just getting out of here. He's a learner, and this was an expensive, but I think for him, hugely profitable investment in learning about America today.
I think he needs to regroup.
I learned
Take a
something
rest.
about Washington. The White House is not the most powerful place. Cafe Milano is.
Yes, it is.
After 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's where you get your deals done.
Ooh, dealing
Yep.
and wheeling,
Yep.
digging.
You talked about rocket blowups. Well, there was some Doge human grenades that must sit into a lot of these agencies.
True.
And that did not go over well with the cabinet secretaries who were actually and are actually running those agencies. Because in the private sector, when you're the CEO of a company, and particularly if it's not a publicly traded company, it's a private company, you can do whatever you want. You're the boss. But Elon Musk was not the boss of these agencies and got into tiffs and fights with, not physical, but with some of the Treasury Secretary. One, because someone was inserted as the head of the IRS by Musk and his team. No, that's not the way it works.
But
He's not the
Dagan, does that
Treasury
mean
Secretary.
Congress is really always in control?
No, but I'm saying that, like, he overstepped. And I'm like, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. But what he did in terms of Doge, and he expressed disappointment at the big, beautiful bill and the lack of seriousness in the cuts, the spending cuts. And he is right on the money about that. Russ Vought, head of the OMB, thankfully, has submitted the rescissions package, the first of what will probably be several, and it's is submitting $9.3 billion, and that helps to codify some of the cuts. It's USAID mostly, and then the PBS, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, it's $1.1 billion there. But Congress is in charge. It's Congress's duty to pick up the mantle and pick up what Elon Musk was trying to do and carry it.
Codify
And they're not,
it, so it's not all for nothing.
and they're carrying a very lightweight football.
Foam football.
Foam.
Nerf.
Nerf football.
Nerf.
I love those.